Hello, and thank you for visiting my site. You're on the program page for my stroke support and survival guide. My name is Kathy, and I'm the daughter of John, an amazing person who suffered a massive stroke at the age of 60. When I was growing up, my dad and I didn't have much of a relationship. He was an alcoholic at the worst time for me. I was a teenager, so I never really liked him very much. And although I loved him and was very proud of him when he finally stopped drinking and started making a life for himself, but by that time I had graduated high school and was living outside our family home. Years went by and we slowly grew closer, but it wasn't until he had a stroke that I really learned what a patient and kind man he really is. He is very sensitive, and who knows, maybe that played a part in his addiction. And don't get me wrong, I was not overly thrilled about having to take care of him, especially at the age of 35. After his stroke, I wound up caring for him 3 days a week for a year and a half. At first, I had to help transfer him to the toilet and had to wipe his bottom, cooked 2 and sometimes 3 meals a day, and ran him to wherever he needed to go. All this while trying to work part-time and taking care of a 5- and 6-year-old. I even helped him to read again. And in 2005, there were no smartphones with fun apps, so I would take a wooden spoon and beat on the kitchen table to a slow enough rhythm that he could keep pace to. I had him read letters that were taped to the kitchen wall until he was able to read words. I learned that technique from watching when he went to eye therapy, and I knew I had to work with him at home because he was so involved that going to eye therapy 2 times a week was just not enough. I also used my knowledge as a physical therapist assistant and taught him to stand confidently against the door. Later, as he started to improve, I would put him on the lawnmower and have him weave in and out of cones, which he never did master very well. My husband and I, along with amazing neighbors and a limited paid carpenter, built an addition onto their home. They had no downstairs bedroom or bathroom, and of course there was no ramp outside. I had just graduated from nutrition school and had started my own business as a health coach, and I have to admit I experimented on Dad. I guess in a warped way, I was secretly getting some kind of revenge for my messed up childhood. Anyway, my point is I know a whole heck of a lot about stroke, and for the longest time I thought it was a curse. But more recently I realized that what for myself and my family went through was all part of a bigger plan, and that we needed to share our experience with the world. I vowed that no one should ever have to endure what we did, and I decided to create something for people like you and me. A guide that is easy to understand and follow in a visually friendly format. I remember sitting at my computer for hours searching the web for some info that might help me help my mom, help my dad. I came up short every time. And in 2005, there was absolutely nothing on the market to help someone who has been thrust into the role as a caregiver for a stroke victim. I guess in hindsight, no resources was a good thing because it made me determined to create something for a caregiver. To my knowledge, there is absolutely nothing out there for you even today. Yes, there's lots of free information on caring for a stroke victim, but nothing that tells you soup to nuts what you need to do to take this situation by the horns and how to deal with it. I understand that every stroke is different, and so is every situation, but there are certain things that need to be done that are standard procedure. Sometimes I think, as a society, we make things more complicated than they have to be. I know what it feels like to be in your shoes. I've walked in them, and I think we've experienced just about every problem imaginable. I put a lot of thought into this survival program, and I set out to cover all the bases: where and how to start, nutrition, exercises, transfers, and home adaptations. Everything I know wrapped up in a fun, easy to understand and follow visual format. I show you what to do in real time when you need it most. Look, sign up for my 7 free video tips, like us on Facebook at Stroke and Support, and click on the button on the right-hand side of your screen to read more. I look forward to hearing from you soon.